morning.
Welcome. Another Thursday and another She-Hulk episode is aired, and we are here to discuss. Before we get into this story, I did not have Daredevil being a smut and
A
doing
smut.
a smut and doing the walk of shame on my She-Hulk bingo card. Did you have that on yours?
I did not, but I mean, it shouldn't be that surprising because of all the Marvel superheroes, Matt Murdock is the most fuckboy. Like, he just is. Like, that's like people, like, if you read enough comics, Matt Murdock is, he's a people pleaser.
I'm going to guess that you said people pleaser instead of what you originally wanted to say.
So,
and he did his job this episode.
Oh yeah,
this episode came to a satisfying conclusion.
that was a good joke. I mean, I think the jokes in this episode were some of the best of the entire season. Like, I'm still thinking about one set of jokes. Like, I don't. If we want to just jump right into
go ahead, man.
The scene between her, and the like rich guy, where he's like, "No one collects Africa like I do." And then he goes Wakanda for it's so good. It's just like Wakanda for it's just like, oh my god.
Oh, she's like, no.
The picture of him
restaurant
with the spear and no shirt. It's just like, oh my god. It's just such a tech, like a certain type of like tech bro white guy attitude.
Boy, yep. If you're in New York, that's a Wall Street guy. 100%. A Wolf of Wall Street. It's Wolf of Wall Street, tech bro, all of those guys. It's all of them in one. And
I studied abroad there. It's just like, oh my god, like.
Oh god. But no. So then, go ahead and let us know how you felt when the episode ended.
The end of this episode.
Yes.
It was upsetting.
Oof.
Like, it was definitely a high, like, to a low. Like, woo.
I mean, okay.
Like,
so
on an emotional level with Jen, not
okay.
Not like
okay. That's the question I was going to ask you. Like, low was the episode low, or just
no? I think this is
the finality was like, yo, this is.
I mean, they went from like fun, hang out with Matt Murdock, having a good time, to like your sex tape airing in front of your mom and dad.
Yo,
like what?
I was embarrassing. So yes, you know what? I think we start. How do you want to do this? Do we start?
I mean, we technically have 2 episodes talking about because of my absence. We didn't talk about the Tim Roth episode from last week, so it might be worth at least talking about that one, because that one was also quite excellent.
Yes, it started off great. You know, the first 5 or 6 minutes of it, the montage, the dating montage, that was sweet, you know. And then we get into the actual, we get to the fuckboy part of it. And then, so yeah, let me ask you, how did you feel about that one since you weren't here?
I really enjoyed it. I think it was a little weaker than this episode, but I thought that sort of Tim Roth is just a gift to the show. I think their interpretation of him as like this like hippie cult leader who's just like chilling and outside of LA, helping these miscellaneous supervillains like process their trauma I think it's a great use of Tim Roth's character. And I think that the therapy scene was really strong, both funny and I think a good character building. And I felt bad for Jen, like in that episode, like, and I think they're doing a very good job of like pushing the theme that like really is like hammered home, like in this episode, which is like at the end of the day, it is like hard. It's a thing that incels started complaining about in the first episode, right? That it's like hard to be a woman, and there's specific struggles that society gives even pretty privileged white women. I mean that in both senses of the word pretty. That is, Jen Waters, and that she has her struggles, and compared to these men superheroes, like in the most recent one when they say that the powers that she stole from Hulk, it's like, oh god,
Yeah,
like,
it's like how like were you there? Like what even where does that come from? Like
well, I mean, it's what people have literally said on Reddit in real life. In
no,
real
it's
life,
you're right,
so
you're right. And I think there was in the Twitter episode, it was one of the posts was like, oh my god, a female Hulk. Why does everything have to be gender bent? Like no, She Hulk has existed forever. But no, that episode was sad. It was one of the most hard. I don't know if it was weaker, maybe because one didn't have Daredevil in it.
it didn't have Daredevil, it didn't have Charlie Cox. Like,
Right. No, but I felt like the themes of that episode were really strong to me. The
I
whole
agree.
yes, and so I enjoyed that episode for what it was. Again, I feel like we were just discussing. Tim Roth is a blessing to the MCU. Like he's a gift. Like especially in this universe, and I hope they find a way to keep him in here somehow, or in the Hulk series. If it's going to be a She-Hulk ongoing series, keep him in here in the She-Hulk universe. I would love to see, like, at one point Jen is going through some shit, and then she goes and she calls Tim Roth, and it's like, hey, can we talk? And
I mean, who knows? She might get
oh,
sent
he
to
doesn't
Tim
even have
Roth
cell
run
phone. He
anger
drives up.
management classes after
Right.
this.
He doesn't have cell phone. She has to drive up to go meet with him. I think that Tim Roth and that circle thing, right, was amazing. I think the jokes in that episode were amazing. Porcupine finally, like, when he and everyone's
Take,
like,
take.
put it back on.
It's
um
pretty good.
there is a question, or was a question, that I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you would I think you did ask me over under on whether the guy who tried to rob her is still involved with Josh.
Right.
What do you think?
Josh is Josh the
The
guy who like
boy
who took her, who was like the
who
guy who did her sex
hacked the
tape,
phone. Yes.
or was he the rich dude? I get
No, the
confused.
guy who hacked the phone.
Um,
Josh. Yeah, Josh.
I think we're talking about like the wrecking crew.
Yeah. Josh wasn't part. Josh is an
Okay,
insult.
so there's intelligentsia,
Yes.
right? And
Reddit.
we know that they haven't even confirmed this, but most likely they hired the wrecking crew to fight Jen at the beginning,
Right.
and then Josh, who's the guy she slept with,
The guy from the
is
wedding.
working
Yes.
with them and stole her cell phone and took the sex tape.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
yeah, the revenge porn, I guess, is specifically what I guess this is trying to parallel. And I think, yes, they're all working for intelligentsia. I don't know if the guy in that it doesn't seem like the guy in that was in the wrecking crew in the episode we were in yesterday is still in it, but maybe that was just like a false flag thing that he was doing. But he seemed pretty repentant.
Changed, right? Repentant.
Yeah.
I mean, he did go into yurt, and the yurt
Yeah.
is life changing. So, like, come on, like.
So, I mean, maybe he'll come back and help Jen, or be revealed to be a bad guy in the forthcoming finale, which is gonna be super. Like that, they did it again because there's a lot of stuff to resolve in one episode.
But okay, so I mean, I think that's the thing, right? So this is the other question I have to ask you: do we just live with it?
If they don't resolve everything,
every MCU series, right, has done that, and I think WandaVision benefited, or is going to benefit from the fact that, I mean, from Doctor Strange, right? There was a payoff there, kind of, sort of.
You can just go and watch Doctor Strange now,
right?
And like you can watch WandaVision and then go watch Multiverse of Madness, and it kind of sinks.
There's kind of a payoff there, right? Marvel's Captain. I'm sorry, Bucky. No, not Bucky.
Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier might pay off in Cap 4.
I guess of the shows, I guess like Falcon Winter Soldier technically, although they like basically hard resolved everything in one episode, has the lingering stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
Sam is
it
Cap,
does.
Bucky is like over his not over, but like he's like
He's dealing with his better
he's
dealing
dealing
with
with his baggage, and like they're friends, right? Like
right. I
that's
mean, Sharon.
well the Sharon thing, but like hopefully the Sharon thing, like no one likes the Sharon twist.
No, no one. And we're setting up Thunderbolts from there.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like I don't think like Falcon Winter Soldier to me doesn't feel like unresolved or like super rushed away, which like Moon Knight, like Miss Marvel, and I mean even Hawkeye felt kind of like very rushed and kind of unresolved at the end.
But I feel like we're gonna get Echo at some
Yeah,
point.
but that's not continuing Kate and
Kate Bishop's story.
Kate and oh my god, why am I Clint? There we go. That's the name of Hawkeye story, right? I think like Loki gets away with it because they said that there's a second season,
right?
So I don't know.
Okay, so well, She-Hulk might have a second season.
I hope so. I really enjoyed this. So
yeah, Tatiana isn't like she's not Hollywood royalty, so you don't have to pay her like 30,000.
No, she's definitely a mid-tier Canadian
actress. She's definitely TV star. So, you know, Orphan Black and all this stuff. She's definitely like TV.
Yeah. So I mean, she did Orphan Black, and then she's also a main character on that the other lawyer show, right? The Perry Mason, right?
Yes, she was the main character in Perry Mason. So yeah, she's definitely TV level. So you can definitely do a She-Hulk season 2 and have her in it, and it wouldn't hurt anyone.
Do you think she'll be a Cap? Because Leader's the villain. They've said that. So
there you go. But okay, so going into episode 8. That was 7. Going into episode 8, what were you expect? I mean, they pretty much told us. They were like, listen.
I mean, by process of elimination, like Murdoch wasn't going to be in the finale.
Right.
So like he was going to be in this one. And I basically got everything I wanted from this episode. Like we're talking about like Daredevil's appearance in She-Hulk. Like he got to own people in law. He beat Jen at the case. He got a cool like Daredevil fight scene, and he was like charming.
A hallway, like
a half of like. Well, I know some people complain about this, but I liked that Daredevil moved like comics Daredevil.
Yes,
like comics
there was
Daredevil
a lot more agility.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a lot more agility. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's not like they didn't. You know what I did like though, that they kept it kind of like on the edge of the Ben Affleck movements.
Yeah.
It was like it was comics accurate, right? He had his agility, he did his jumps, he did his flips, which is what Daredevil is. You know, Netflix pretty much made Matt Murdock run a lot. So
yeah, he ran a lot and never wore his suit. That's the main thing. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna give up the devil suit. That man never wore a suit in that show.
I mean, and the first thing they do in this episode is, we introduce Matt Murdock, but when we're seeing Daredevil, it's not t-shirt and jeans and a t-shirt over his head. It's literally it's the mustard and then ketchup and
mustard.
Devil. I'm Daredevil. Well, it is very daring to use ketchup and mustard.
Like the way he shrugs at him is like
okay, like am I supposed to know you? You know what? That was a joke in itself because this is his first appearance in this is his second appearance in that. This is Daredevil's first appearance in
Daredevil's first appearance.
Yes. So it's like, is anybody in the MCU supposed to know who you are? It was a good like, again, the show has breaks the fourth wall, and I thought that really that did. And I really hope this is the tone for Reborn.
I hope it's like, I'm okay with it being more serious, like in Born Again, but like I do not want it to be as ponderous. I know this is like blasphemy for hardcore a certain subset of hardcore MCU fans.
Mhm.
Like, but the ponderousness of like the Daredevil, like it just got too much. Like it got
Yeah,
up
it was
its
a little
own,
heavy.
like through about halfway through season 3.
Mhm.
Like, and there's like Daredevil is a dark character. Like there are a lot of really good dark Daredevil storylines, but Matt Murdock is also an asshole who makes jokes all the time, like and makes fun of people. He made fun of people in the Bendis run, like which is all very dark run, right? He's made fun of people in the Chip Zdarsky run. Like him quipping as Daredevil is just the thing Daredevil does, while also like being sad because he killed somebody, right? Like
Yes,
you can
yes,
have both things,
yes.
right?
I thought, okay, so here's my thoughts on, this is my thoughts on Daredevil in this episode. I thought we got a great balance, right? He was quippy, he was funny, he did his fights, and I thought they didn't go like he was like when it was time to be serious and focused, he was. And then with Jen, he was more relaxed. Like when he was fighting, when he got into the hallway,
He beat the crap out of those guys.
yeah, he wasn't Spider-Man, which is what I think people were scared of. Like they were scared they were gonna get Spider-Man quipping through as he beats the villains. And I that's how I feel. Like I'm feeling like people do, oh, we don't want MCU Daredevil because they're gonna mess him up. People, I'm pretty sure they were expecting Peter Parker, but no, he was Daredevil, which is what I feel like when we could do with Daredevil moving forward. I like this tone. Tonally, this is honestly, I might be the only person on this side of it, but this is what I want with Daredevil moving forward.
I mean, I'm okay with them staying at this like level, but like also
Mhm.
if they decide to go a little darker, I'm also okay with that. I just don't want them to go full off like we're watching Breaking Bad, but it's a man who's supposed to be in a Red Devil suit, but he refuses to put it on, right? Like
You are never like if
I'm not gonna let it go. Like I'm not gonna
Star
let it
Wars
go.
rant. This is your Boba Fett rant again.
Like I'm sorry, I didn't like it. Like I sat through a whole season, the whole first season. I sat waiting for that suit, and then he barely wears it in the second season, and then the whole third season he's only in it for like 5 seconds.
Mhm.
It still bothers me.
Mhm.
Anyway, but the suit was cool. I thought in this episode.
Yeah, I like the mustard and ketchup and mustard suit.
Like
I like the look of it.
I liked that he felt very like experienced, like
Mhm.
that he's been doing this for like a long time.
Yes,
And like he was taken seriously as like a superhero, right? Like
Mhm.
he's like, I can beat all these people up, Jen. Like I know what to do. Like I've got this plan, right? That felt like, yeah, Daredevil is a serious superhero who knows what he's doing. He's not a joke, even if he makes jokes, right? They don't
Yes.
treat Matt Murdock or Daredevil like as a joke character, which I know a lot of people are scared of, but they weren't. Like I thought this is a very respectful, as much as you want like a superhero story to be respectful. And that's like an important value that you list, right?
Mhm.
And so I really enjoyed it. Like, and I thought the fight was cool. Like, I thought both the Daredevil versus the Thugs plus him and Jen like beating people up was like a well done fight scenes.
I actually thought him and Jen fight because so you had told me that there was a 2-minute scene on the internet somewhere. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna see it. I want to watch all of it in person. And honestly, I am kind of glad that I didn't watch the snippet because honestly, if I did, it would have spoiled it anyways. But no, I loved watching it. I honestly, truly loved watching him and She-Hulk fight. And believe it or not, I'm like everything that led up to him being a whore felt very organic. I'm not gonna call him a whore. Everything felt very organic.
He's a
Like,
fuckboy. Like
yeah,
Matt Murdock's a fuckboy. Like
and he was doing the morning after walk. Like
that was so
smut. Like,
well, it's just that's Matt Murdock for you. Like
yes. And like I said, everything felt it didn't. I don't know. That maybe Tatiana and Matt. I'm sorry,
Charlie Cox.
Charlie have like amazing chemistry together.
They do. Like I mean,
it showed. Like if it came out now that they're dating, I'd be like, of course. But they're not. But if it did, I'd be like, of course.
Yeah.
But no, they have amazing chemistry together, and it showed. And I honestly enjoyed. I had a good time with this episode, and then it got to the end of it, and I was like, oh, because okay. So
I hope she's in Daredevil. By the way, I hope that there's a
yes.
return guest appearance where
Yeah.
she gets to go to Daredevil and kick Matt's ass
Or fuck shit up in New York.
and get it and mess things up in New York. That would like if they do that, I will love Marvel. For like I already love Marvel, but like I will just be
I'm
like,
what? That's really what's gonna
I will really give them a lot of credit though, because I think
Right.
that would also be a fun thing. You can also
Mhm.
change it, like make She-Hulk a little darker in her appearance, right? Like you can do that. Before we jump into the sad stuff, what do you think of her suit? This is the first
Oh,
time
I
I see it.
loved it. Absolutely loved She-Hulk in She-Hulk suit.
Well, I mean, so Matt Murdock's your favorite character now, right? He's got to be your favorite superhero.
She-Hulk is still my favorite. Oof, what? Well,
I'm just saying.
I have never been more jealous of somebody I didn't know ever in life. Like, I don't know this guy. I'll never meet. I'm never gonna meet Matt Murdock. I'm never gonna meet the Daredevil. But I hate him. I absolutely hate him. As much as I'm like, I was so jealous. And the whole time they shut the door. I'm like, so did they do it? Like, it's fine. It's okay.
There's a lot of sex
I have
this
questions.
for a Marvel TV show, by the way.
I think the main question here is
Jen smashes 3 times.
Did they smash? Did he smash? Did she like obviously it started out with Jen Walters and Matt Murdock, right? But at some point, did she Hulk out?
I don't know. That's between them.
Know.
But
Questions.
I mean, the impression that you get right in this episode is that she's happy because Matt was interested in like Jen,
yes,
and not just She-Hulk.
Yeah, the same thing from last episode as well.
Right, but it's a more positive interaction, right? Like,
yes,
like it's obviously, particularly once we get to the end of the episode.
Yeah, Matt obviously is and he likes. I think it's the whole like, oh, he's attracted to the lawyer person that he meets, and he doesn't really care that it's She-Hulk. He's just attracted to who she is.
It's value added.
Yes, it is.
Which
it was beautiful. But I would She-Hulk in a She-Hulk suit.
I mean, it was, and I think that it was a good costume. It was comics accurate, right? Because she's running around in a suit similar to that right now, right?
Yeah, I need more.
Well, I don't know how much more we're gonna get. Also, I thought the CG was good in this episode.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the CGI was amazing. It was amazing, and
they spent the money on this one.
It also
just like the
that
twerk.
It was at night, for a lot of it. Yeah, classic, and they did spend the money on Jen to look as good as she did. I think if you're gonna have Charlie Cox on here, you're gonna have to spend the money regardless. So the sad stuff.
It's a pretty fucked up ending.
I know. And this is what I'm gonna ask you. So we saw last week's episode, right? Or the wedding episode at the end when the lawyer friend is like, not the lawyer friend rather, she's like, hey, don't tell Jen. So I'm guessing Jen never listened to that voicemail.
No, they talk about it in the beginning of the Tim Roth episode. They talk about it.
Oh, dang.
She's like her friend who's played by Ginger Gonzalez like makes some kind of comment, and Jen says like she like kind of blows it off.
Okay.
And then obviously this episode that comes back.
It comes back. So I will say this though. So I'm watching this episode, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, something like it's too good. It's too good. Like all of these good things are happening. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true is all I'm saying. And especially with the way last week's episode ended, I'm just like, yo.
It was a very positive ending at the last episode.
No.
Yeah, where she gets in the. You didn't take that as very positive. Where she gets in the car.
When she gets in the van and she's like you can see the weight drop off her.
Yeah.
But the episode itself did not end positive because that's when we get to see what Josh did.
Oh, right. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the note with Jen.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
And then literally at the very end of it, well, the stinger, right? Because we're not getting any more what's it called?
Post-credit scenes.
Yeah, we're not getting post.
Well, we're definitely gonna get one in the finale. There's always one in the finale.
Oh yeah. Fingers crossed is like maybe Bruce Banner comes back because IMDb still has him.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo could come back.
Do
you think it's going to be just a half hour or 40 minutes, or do you think they're going to go?
No, it's 40 minutes
longer.
Okay, so this is
Because
the
Miss
question.
Marvel went long.
This is the question I have to ask you, right? Do we deal with? So I'm going to guess that the ramifications of what happened at the gala, right? We're gonna deal with.
She'll probably be in
But do you,
jail.
do you want to discuss it before I ask this question?
Sure.
All right.
So what? She loop. So Jen sees her. I mean, again, they put revenge porn on the big screen when her family is right there.
Put her bank account on there. She's broke. She's not broke though.
I mean, maybe she wasn't super wealthy to start with, though. I mean, as far as it goes, like
she works for GK&H or whatever.
Yeah, like, and then, but I think the bigger thing is the revenge porn, right? Like in front of your parents.
No, definitely the revenge porn. Yeah.
And then
I guess trash.
Those guys in the back, right, were supposed to be intelligentsia or whatever.
Yeah, recording like, okay, look at her, like losing her shit, like.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce has lost his shit over way stupider shit than what just happened. And you know, Jen, it pays off the whole like I'm always in control thing that she says to Bruce in the first episode, right? That she doesn't, and then also pays off what Bruce says is they only remember you once they see you as a monster, they'll never see you as anything else again.
That's it. Yep.
And so it ends with her. She doesn't going to kill that dude, but doesn't. And then there's the miscellaneous damage control villains who have been around since.
Who just pop up? Like
I guess they got a like Hulk squad following her around all the time.
Right. That's probably what it is, because I'm going to guess that there is a Hulk squad following her around, right? I'm gonna guess it's always been a thing. Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, she doesn't have as much rebellion in her today, Mo.
No, not today. She got to take a really good nap.
Oh,
right?
Good doggo.
Super long walk, right?
Oh, there's my doggo.
Okay, can you let me do this? Guess not. Okay, bye. Off you go. But yeah, I think so. Okay, she's definitely gonna get arrested. I feel like we're gonna open with a court scene, and that's what I wanted to ask.
I think we're gonna open with her in the same jail that Abomination was in.
Ooh, that's good. So,
and then I guess Pug and Book, who's the
black lady?
Yeah,
are gonna try to get her out.
We're gonna have to get her out.
Before we get into that, let me ask you: how did you feel when Female Lawyer of the Year 2022 and Jen Walters, and she gets up and then there's like 6 other?
That's not surprising. So
that was funny as shit.
Also, the guy doing the like Miss America version of it. What does it feel to be like a woman and a lawyer?
Right.
And my favorite though was when I guess her name is Book, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And she does her whole thing where you have to do everything like twice as hard for half the pay, and her friends do the snaps. That made me laugh too. I was just like,
right, yeah, that was funny. And then Jen goes into this. I'll thank my mom and my dad, and shit hits the fan. And I think the best part about it was her Book was like, tried to pull her back, right?
Like, don't do it, yeah.
Yeah, but Hulks are just not like if she was talking to if she was talking to a regular human being, it'd be like probably be able to pull her back. But you talking to a Hulk, yeah, it's not happening.
I mean, again, Bruce has lost his shit over way dumber stuff than this.
Way dumber stuff, yes. What? So I think we open with a court scene.
That makes sense.
And so we're dealing with the ramifications of the night, right? And who did that? Oh wow! Oh, thank you for the like.
Oh, we got a like?
Yeah, I've actually never seen that. It's just surprising.
We appreciate you. Are we the only people on YouTube who are positive about She-Hulk? This might be the only She-Hulk appreciation stream, particularly done by two men, that exists.
It's funny because I think I saw a lot of reviews that were just nuts about Daredevil, but we are actually talking about She-Hulk, which is amazing. Like, I think a lot of reviewers spent the time talking about Daredevil this, Daredevil that.
I mean, he did eat up a lot of the oxygen this episode, right? But
I actually think he didn't. I thought his stuff was okay. I thought when we got to the end of it, all of that Daredevil stuff was done.
I mean, it was like I'm much more interested in seeing like
Yeah.
what happens in episode 8,
Yeah.
and what the status quo for Jen is. Like, do you think
Yeah.
she is going to be an Avenger because she's got to rebuild her reputation now? Like, are we gonna
I
have
mean,
Sam show up at the end and be like, "Look, you know what helped Bruce improve his reputation? Avenging." Like
the Avengers.
the Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers show up.
Avengers. Because it did happen in front of her boss as well.
Oh, she's getting
And
fired, I think.
He looked devastated. You think she's definitely getting fired.
Well, I think this episode also set up that, like, I mean, not just this episode, several other episodes, right? Set up like Jen is unhappy doing what she's doing. And the fact that she was defending.
But they did talk about it a lot in this episode. Yeah, she probably gets either she scales down and works for she either works for a smaller firm that helps people, or she starts her own law firm over on.
I could see her and the African American woman starting their own firm, like in this at the end of the show, right? Because like Murdoch gave his whole like shtick, right? Of like, what you should do is like
one for us, some for them, some for that. Like
well, it's like, you know, defend people, but when the law fails, She-Hulk can like help people, right?
With great power comes great responsibility. He did all of that.
Yeah, but so like but it also did a good job of like just I think they used Matt in a really good way of like accentuating the themes that they've been building up, right? I think the stuff that Matt says to Jen is just like crystallizes a lot of the other stuff that they've been building up. So I feel like they leveraged the character really well, not just for a fun Daredevil story, but to aid Jen's arc, which is a good guest appearance.
I think what also kind of gives this episode a strength is it opens up with I don't think he did. He kicked her ass in court. I would say
that he definitely did,
and he cheated.
Well, he didn't really cheat. I mean, he did. That's true. But Daredevil always cheats. So
okay, good. But
that's his thing.
Did you use jet fuel?
I mean, we haven't even talked about Frogman, like, who is so good,
so lame.
So good.
He's good.
What's his? It's keeping it and ripping it. What's the?
Rip it and rip it.
Rip it and ribbit. Is that?
Yeah.
So
listen, can we talk about his not so secret layer? The lily pad.
Yeah,
and then his henchmen. Oh, and then we finally got the definition of goons and henchmen.
Yes. Henchmen.
This episode was great. Like all of the dark stuff that happened at the end aside, this episode was great. And I think last week's episode showed the strength of She-Hulk. Like it's like this is, you know, I think I'll say this though, the first 6 episodes were just the fun episodes. Like I honestly feel like those episodes, while they did have story threads, they didn't really care. They were very self-contained episodes. This last 3, however, have been more like the like this is where we're gonna get us an overarching story, right? Every episode to me has felt very self-contained.
I think most of them have, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is these. I mean, we get because the Wrecking Crew thing happened, and then almost never got talked about for
3 episodes, 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like the 3rd episode when she gets.
It was the 3rd episode where she finally accepted being She-Hulk. Right, because she's on her way back from work.
Right, because it's the episode before she goes dating, right?
Yes.
Like, is it the first Wong episode? Is it the episode where she gets Blonsky off? That they try to attack her?
I think yes. I think it was the episode she gets Blonsky off. That she comes back, or she's come back from work. And then the second episode, the next episode after that was the Wongers.
Well, that's a great one.
Amazing episode. Yeah, so I think also the previously on starts off with Bruce, right? What are you gonna do?
No, you're not. And then it has the twerk like that. That's just like the show is so in the tank about I think its own reception, right? Like it's basically saying like, look at what She-Hulk did with her like superpowers, right? It's like making
Right.
fun of that whole idea of Jen has some obligation to use her powers in a way that necessarily she doesn't want to.
And I think we're gonna get to that point, right? We're gonna get to her making a decision, and I think that's gonna be next week's episode. But I feel like it's still a law show, and I feel like we have to. I might be wrong, but we might open with a law scene, where she's either defending herself because she has to get off, right, to be able to fight intelligentsia.
Yeah, I mean she does. I mean she does, or I mean the question is like the 8th episode is all gonna be like, where do you want to leave She-Hulk,
Mhm.
right? Like, is it gonna set up a second season of She-Hulk like Loki did? Is it gonna like literally hand it off to her next appearance, like Miss Marvel and WandaVision did? Is it going to like be somewhere in between, like Falcon the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, where it's like,
Mhm.
what are they gonna do with these characters
They're
next?
spinning off characters and
Yeah, like so I think they're gonna open with her in jail. I think and I think they're gonna do a bunch of like she's a monster now scene. So it's gonna be like her in jail, then they take her to the court, then she's in the court, right? Like I think it's gonna be a whole like she's a monster now thing where Jen has to come to terms with that.
right.
And then decide what she's gonna do with herself.
That's gonna be painful for Jen, who's tried to craft this image. She's tried to craft this image of, like, I'm just a lawyer. I'm not a superhero. I'm just a lawyer who happens to be a Hulk. And she's really tried. And I think that's gonna be interesting to watch. I think that's gonna be the best thing of the show is I think the best thing of the show is she's tried to craft this not Hulk image, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm anything but a Hulk. I am a lawyer first. I'm a woman. I'm a lawyer, and all these things. And even in trying to date, she tried to date as Jen Walters, and then she dated as She-Hulk. And I think we're gonna. And last week with the Blonsky episode, we kind of got a merge, right? We kind of got, okay, I'm going to accept who I am now, and now I feel like we're gonna get the I'm a Hulk. Because I feel like that's where we're going next is I am a Hulk at the end of the day.
I think she's gonna come to terms with that. Yeah.
And I think just like your question that you asked is where does this go? I am crossing my fingers and saying that they hand it off to it, like it goes to a second season and they're not gonna do the Kamala thing because we never got a close with Kamala, right? With Miss Marvel. It was just we're moving to the Marvels. I feel like there's still more answers with that series. And it's just, we're just gonna move to the Marvels. The only reason why WandaVision is okay is because it paid off immediately, right? Oh, not immediately, is we've gotten this payoff, so we're okay with it.
Yeah.
And so, we have I would hate to do a wait and see with She-Hulk because I feel like it's been good so far. And
I mean, I agree with you. It's like I have no idea
right.
like what the real reception of She-Hulk is, right? Because I think it's been the most polarizing.
It has.
I think its own show in the Earth2 CC chat where I think Mo and I are the only consistent stands for the show, and other people have like some episodes
mixed reviews. Yeah, this episode,
episodes. Yeah. Besides all the politics around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would be interested. Like, for who knows, people have been complaining that there's no like Hulk-like character in Thunderbolts, and we could just go to the end of this, and the government's like, all right, your parole is you got to be in Thunderbolts, right? And then they release an image of her with the Thunderbolts crew, like that. They could do that. They could also be like set her up for a second season of She-Hulk. Sam could show up and be like, this is all the leader's fault. I need your help, right? Like, or Hulk himself could come back at the end and be like, we're gonna do a World War Hulk show in 2025. Like,
I want more attorney at law, right? I want more attorney at law. So I'm hoping that it was, you know, the thing we speculated earlier where she and the African American lawyer, come together and say, you know, fuck GDH and K. Again, I forget the name of the firm, and let's actually go do like real law and open a superhero law, like a actual, and help like superheroes, right? You know, not because of the publicity of the big firm, but this is what we're going to do. I would like to see that, or they open a law firm where She-Hulk does the superhero division and she does like, and just like with Matt, you know, we get her to do some big law firm case or big law case, and then we get her doing pro bono stuff. Like I would watch 8 to 9 episodes of that.
I would
Again, I
also
mean,
watch it too.
that's what we've gotten so far, and I'd watch it again.
Me too.
So
Easily.
I feel like we're in a good place with She-Hulk. For I think we're in a good but okay place with She-Hulk. You know, for anticipation for next week. No, we're in a good place with
I'm in a great place. I was like, I
Yes.
want the next one. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only like I want it more than I wanted the new episode of Andor, which I really like. When that episode of Andor, and that's not shade at Andor. Like I was like,
that sounds super shady.
but I don't mean to shade. Like, because I was my
No,
anticipation was like high. I was like, all right, next episode's gonna kick ass, lots of explosions, cool spy shit. Now I'm like, I want to know what happens to Jen more than that.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
yeah.
definitely. I'm with you right there. I want to know what happens with Jen. Like, I need to see it. Like, so, quick question before we go forward: are we done with Titania?
I'm not sure. So she could be in the next episode. We could get a role reversal where she feels bad for Jen. Right? She could not come. She could come back. She could not come back. Like, she could help Jen beat up Intelligentsia. Like, you think that they're gonna fight, but she's like, these people are assholes, or we just don't see her again until maybe there's a second season.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, they got Jamal. What's her last name from Good Place? Jamil. And she's a very talented comedic actress, and I think they put her to good use. But like, when you've got her on your show, you should make the most of her. Right, so there could be more. I think we get more Tim Roth because we haven't seen the like the stuff that was in the trailer of him getting like high fived as Abomination.
True. That would be crazy because he has a collar inhibitor. Yeah. So
do we want to theorize about who the Hulk King is? Oh yeah, we didn't talk about this. The joke that Jen made about
she literally threw that at us. Right? She was like, "Oh, are you? Why are you?
What do you think's gonna happen?"
Right. And she set that up for us. But so yes, let's talk about it.
Who do you think the Hulk King is? Do you think it's the rich dude?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or this just came to me. Do you think it's Tim Roth? And he's just been like pretending to be
this great
chill guy, but he's actually just a piece of shit who's trying to destroy the Hulk, but he's got himself out. I mean, this is a non-spoiler guess. Like, I think the obvious answer is it's like Incel Bro.
Right. But I could definitely see. I could now that you painted the picture, I definitely like. Why would you ever say that? Because now I see. I could make the argument can be made for Tim Roth.
That Abomination. I mean, he is abominable, right? Like, it's a whole way of trying to make his reputation great, but the Hulk's terrible,
right?
By coming for poor Jen.
How? The question is, right? How is he so healed that he's forgiven the Hulk? Because Abomination, what we know about the Abomination is he hates Bruce. He hates the Hulk. That hate doesn't just go away.
I mean, he spent 8 years in jail. That's what he said. And then he found Zen Jesus.
Right.
His come to Zen moment.
I don't know. I think it's him. You know, he's been controlling everything, which is why when now my mind is going places, right? So when we run into Wrecking Crew guy in his cult, right? Yeah, I'm thinking he set all. I think he set it up. I think he set all of it up.
So for me, I think it's like 51% chance it's Rich Dude. Somewhere in like the 20s, it's Tim Roth. Somewhere in the 10s, it's Abominate. It's the leader. Because if they're gonna go for like Sam versus like basically MAGA, which seems to be like what the way they've described this, like it really seems like it, right? That they're gonna steal not steal, but like adapt the Coates story, right? Where Red Hulk is running around as Jordan Peterson, but instead of Red Skull, it's going to be the leader.
Intelligentsia
more than the Donald. Yeah. Like that's basically what these people are. It's R/Donald. Like, and they are. They're just the MCU version of that. And
right. Intelligentsia would make sense. So
that's
the connection, which would then bring him in at the end of the season and help. He's like, we can help you clean your image if you help the Avengers, and
work for Bruce.
Right, it did. It definitely did, because now he's a superhero. He did destroy like half of a city in Africa, and somehow
it's Nairobi, right?
Yeah, was it Nairobi? Oh, like that. We're talking about not Civil War.
Ultron, right? Is Nairobi
Age of
that
Ultron.
destroys?
I don't remember what he and
Tony. Tony at least pays for it, I guess.
Does he?
Because when he buys the building, then he smashes.
Right, Russell makes sense to be the leader because
that's true. But I mean, maybe they recast Ross, but William Hurt's dead, right? So So was he dead when this was filming and he passed away?
Yeah, I think he passed. No, he passed away right before this came out.
Right before this came out. Okay, yeah. So I mean, there's rumors that Harrison Ford has been recast as. But there's no way Harrison Ford is on this show. So, but that he's gonna be Ross for the Thunderbolts movie. So,
yeah, so that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, She-Hulk was good today, really good. What do you grade it?
So, episode 7, the one that we weren't able to do, again, I apologize for us not being here. Was a B+, I'd say.
Yeah,
and this was an A. Like it just. Just straight up one of the best episodes, probably the best episode of She-Hulk, short of the twerk. I actually think enough people were charmed by Matt Murdock that the Daredevil apocalypse that Mo and I have like predicted and wanted has not come to. I mean, who knows? But I think
people are gonna sleep on it, and then tomorrow they're like, matter of fact, nah, that's not my boy.
I've seen those dumb takes, but I also I was in the Defenders Reddit today when I say Defenders, I mean the fans of the Netflix show Defenders Reddit, and they were all positive.
Fans of that show?
Yeah, well, like the fans of the universe, right?
Okay.
And people liked it. Like they were about like 90% of the comments are like, "Yeah, our boy's back. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, blah 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 blah." And a few people were like, why is he not dark? But most people were like, yeah, Matt's back, blah, blah, blah. So it seems to me that like it's just real minority opinion that this episode was garbage.
Okay.
But nothing's gonna outdo the twerk at this point. I think that's settled.
No. Yeah, and that's the question, right? That we had was is Daredevil gonna no. Twerk. We hold twerk. Daredevil.
Yeah, too positive. Charlie Cox's charisma.
No, Charlie Cox was amazing. He was great. And like I said, this is how I want Daredevil moving forward.
Wait,
we don't know what we're gonna get. I'm sorry.
I just realized something, Mel. I'm sorry to interrupt because you were giving a good spiel, but I figured out what could be more controversial. She-Hulk locked up and she gets released because of a Megan Thee Stallion concert that is done in her honor. And that's how she gets out. That would break people. Right? She just plays WAP outside of the jail all day until She-Hulk is released.
Now I want that. Like I want that more than anything. Yeah, that's what we need. We need Megan Thee Stallion playing WAP
for a charity concert to get She-Hulk out of prison.
Free my girl. No. last week's episode to me was a B plus. This was another B plus episode. I think they, to me personally, I think they're the same strengths. They have the same strength, and I think for different reasons. But I liked both just as equally. I mean, Daredevil was amazing. So yeah, I can't. You're not gonna get any complaints out of me from. There was. It was funny. What are you gonna do in why instead of being a superhero? Twerk.
There's two. They went back to it twice. It was great.
I love it. But yeah, thank you for thank you, Roy, for making the time. Thank you, KB, for watching. Thank you, those who are going to be listening. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button, and we will catch you tomorrow for not one, but 2 episodes of The Rings of Power. Right?
Tomorrow, Saturday. We'll talk about it after this.
Okay. We'll catch you the next time for The Rings of Power. Have a good day.
Old devil.
I'm Daredevil.
Well, it is very daring to use ketchup and mustard.